We'll go there?
Got up nice and early, sitting out on the balcony.
I don't really remember much of this. Oh wait, I do, yes. We were looking for whales.
We were looking for whales. Did we find any?
Don't think so. Not that morning, I don't think.
I mean, what struck me is how different Kauai looked from all the other islands. It was very green and lush instantly.
Yeah, we got up early and then we had to figure out how to get the car and where the Zodiac meetup spot was. It was funny because I spent the evening looking up our tour and reading reviews and scaring myself and thinking this is probably something we shouldn't do with the kids after reading countless reviews. I was scared and the whole time I'm like, maybe we just shouldn't do this.
We had life jackets.
Did we though?
Yeah. I mean, driving Kauai was beautiful. We got there. We got to where Napali Riders is in Waimea, and James had to get his coconut.
Yeah, this rafting ride was probably one of the roughest days at sea too.
Yeah, it was definitely rough waters. So, like there were, I'd say, probably 15-foot swells or something like that. I mean, which if you're a
they were
sailor,
15-foot swells, and you're in a little blow-up raft going about 30 miles an hour, flying off the edges of these swells, and just.
We got our feet under the ropes on the ground to hold us.
Everybody seemed there was just a little bit of fear in everyone's eyes, especially the small women that were on the edge. Halfway through, they jumped onto the center too.
I think if you were a sailor kind of person, this would be a normal day at sea, but for normies who don't do this, it was a pretty hardcore experience.
Well, you could actually fall off of this thing easily. It was definitely white knuckles the whole way out. It was so, I would say so like an adrenaline rush, I guess, on this rafting trip that you're like really in the moment. You did not want to fall in that water when it was going so fast. So I was like, oh no, we're going to lose one of these kids out here.
But we didn't.
We didn't.
That's a plus.
But it made it that much more fun. They played loud music and the waves, and you're flying through the ocean to try and make it all the way to the end of the Napali coast because you want to see the whole thing. You don't want to just see a portion of it. We were supposed to be finding a snorkel spot, but the wildlife just would not stop.
We kept spotting whales everywhere.
And I've never been so close to them that we could pet them. We could have jumped out and swam with them. At the end too, just like, whoa, I actually did that. We did it. We survived.
Yeah, no, it was, like I said, for normies, I think that this was a pretty hardcore experience. I'd like to say a big thank you to Captain Mack and to Peyton for letting me actually believe I was Captain Jack Sparrow or Edward Kenway for like 5 minutes. So they usually try to find a snorkel spot, but because of the rough waters and we couldn't find distance from the marine life, they just took us out to sea and did what they call a pool party, where we all got to jump in the Pacific Ocean. This is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing for us from where we are, so I'm not going to not say I jumped in the Pacific Ocean.
To me, it felt too cold to get in. I don't like getting in cold water.
James surprised me. I thought I was just going to jump in and get back out after a minute, but James jumped right in the Pacific Ocean too, with his life preserver on. I was impressed and proud of him.
Yeah, that was the first time he was ever in deep water.
Yeah, that really was. There were a lot of firsts on this trip, and that was one of them.
Yeah, I would do it again.
I would do it again. So after that, we went driving around. We found out Poipu Beach is a great place for families, but didn't realize the surprise that we were in for as soon as we got there.
Yeah, we were not sure what we were going to do, so we decided, hey, let's just go to the beach.
The turtles.
The turtles, yeah.
Turtles.
We had no idea. We're just we didn't know what to expect, but we couldn't even get into the water. There were so many turtles. They had the area blocked off to like the beach. You have to stay without like 10 to
10 feet back, but people are staying further back.
Yeah, 10 to 20 feet. People were, pretty.
People with their lawn chairs lined
Yes,
up. And you could do worse. You could do worse with your day, sitting there in a lawn chair watching turtles in Hawaii.
And there was a playground right there, so we could watch the turtles, and the boys could play and get all their energy out on the playgrounds. They didn't want to go in the water. There was so much fun stuff to do in the grass, and there's like little chickens running around.
And that's just the thing to love about Hawaii, because we're here on this cruise doing all these extravagant things. And I'm like, I'd just be happy sitting here for like 4 days, whatever, watching the turtles on the beach. I'm like, you could just come to Hawaii and do Poipu Beach, and it would be a good use of your time. One turtle, I guess, got tired and peaced out, and he's like, I'm going to go.
It's basically like watching a turtle migration or something. It was
really
it was really cool. It was something to explore, because there was like the nice sandy beach with the shallow water, and it went way out, and there's like another little island, little sandbar island. And then, but to the left were like little tide pools with little fishes, crabs, and all kinds of stuff. It was beautiful. Oh, and we saw whales.
And we saw whales.
We saw whales. So when we were just standing there, kids are playing. You hear lots of kids playing in the playground, and you look over, and there's whales just spouting off at a distance. And I'm not talking one whale. Like, it looked like several whales. No matter where you looked, you were seeing a whale, breach or spouts. Or it makes me really glad we went in January.
Yeah, Poipu Beach was so dynamic. You have the rocks, and then you have the nice, comfortable sandy beach. You have all the animals. I mean, this was a very standout location.
Picturesque. Everywhere you look, you're like, wow. Can we just stay here?
Yeah, that was one of the teases of being on the Pride of America cruise. Going to a place like this is there are so many places we just wanted to stay. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to go back and get on the ship. And this was one of those nights too where I'm like, yeah, I'm a sunk cost guy. I want to go back to the ship and eat the food I've already paid for, but no, we're here in Hawaii. We don't want to go back. We'll get some local food. We're in Kauai, and the chickens are in the tree.
On this beach is when I learned that chickens like to roost in the trees.
Cheese.
So we left this beach, and we head down a little bit to the Grand Hyatt.
Yeah, so we went to Shipwreck Beach afterward, and that was the last thing we did for the night. People standing on the cliffs. It was every bit as amazing as when I was there for a friend's wedding 14 years ago. So Hawaii, especially Kauai, had always been a place in my mind and a place in my soul, and I'm happy to say it was still very much that way. Went back and found a place to park the car. Had to pay to park the car because Kauai, and then walked back to the cruise ship.
Yeah.
And the kids were beat, tired.
Exhausted.
But
they didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Bucket list, here we go.
What I liked about Island Helicopters, which is the helicopter tour we took, is they came to the ship to pick us up.
That was nice. So this was my first time, and so it same with the boys. And so we were both a little nervous, like how would they do? And I didn't know, what does it feel like in a helicopter? Because you kind of zip around, it's kind of like being in a drone. We were listening to all the best helicopter flying music.
What I liked about Island Helicopters is they're the only helicopter tour that has the agreement with the Robinson family to land at the Jurassic Park Falls. So we actually had to land, shut down, and walk to the falls.
all the stuff we did the day before did not even... without the helicopter ride, we wouldn't even know half of the stuff that's on Kauai.
Yeah.
Like the Kauai volcano, the empty crater, the waterfalls, like amazing. You cannot see these things. In the center of the island is a ginormous, like, mountainous cinder cone that you can't get to. Even if you were hiking, you would not get to this area. And see these beautiful, like, cliffs? They're not even...
Yeah, the stuff that, and I really recommend if you're in Kauai taking something like this, because there's a lot of stuff that you see right around where I guess Lahui is and where the harbor is, and you think the rest of the island looks like that. And this helicopter took us a pretty decent distance to go see something, you know, that there's no indication would exist from where you are right around that part of Kauai.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't know. And so a lot of Kauai is untouched too.
Yeah.
It's owned by the Robinson family still, and no other property, road, nothing out there. There's no hiking out there because it's private property.
Private property. It's as if the Swiss family Robinson had a whole lot of money.
But it's gorgeous, and because they bought it, I think it protected the land because you know, they kept it pristine.
Still a very wild, beautiful island. That's why they call it the Garden Island.
It's gorgeous. It's beautiful, and I can see why the Hawaiians find so much pride in it, and then on their in their land. It's just gorgeous.
This part was especially cool because we get down into the canyon and get to fly through up to the waterfall. So you have this perspective of being low to the ground, trees passing by you, waterfalls everywhere. This is coming up to the Jurassic Park Falls. What you're looking at here is when you see the wide-angle footage, it's me on the right side, and you see the narrow-angle footage, it's Sarah on the left side, but it's happening at the same time. What I kept thinking this whole time was, I wonder how much work it was to bring concrete and stuff out here to make a helicopter landing pad.
The concrete pad that was right by the waterfall from the movie, they said while they were filming the movie, a hurricane came in and actually destroyed the landing pad while they were in the process of filming the scenes. They used the storm footage in the movie.
Yeah. So a lot of that storm in the first Jurassic Park was completely authentic.
Yeah.
This is
sorry. Oh, this is incredible. Yeah.
does it get older?
No, yeah. This place definitely doesn't get old.
Yeah, flying in through that would never get old.
Yeah. Gives me excuse to fly low.
The one thing I would do differently if we fly island helicopters again is to request the front seats. I thought that was interesting.
At the same time, the kids were completely enthralled, so I'm glad that they have that memory and that experience.
All right, gang. Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Yippee, yippee.
Yippee-ki-yay. He's a good baby.
They put booties on our feet to prevent us bringing any germs or anything to the area.
It was so beautiful there, I really didn't want to mess anything up.
What do you call me?
A slowpoke.
You're a slowpoke.
Yeah, buddy.
Watch out for the dinosaurs, James. I'm sure we'll see one. Who's gonna tell him? See fishies. Look how clear that water is.
This whole area is owned by the Robinsons.
Yeah, there's little fishies in there, tiny little fishies.
And the only way people get to see it are either if they're invited or they take a helicopter ride. Any other helicopter company doesn't have the clearance to land there. Just this one.
Just island helicopters.
Yeah, just this one. So.
Oh my God, look at that. Yeah, I can't believe how clear the water is. It's pure water, obviously, but wow. We just, is this cool, buddy? Isn't this fun? You're doing so good, bud.
There's waterfalls all over.
Yeah, I kind of want to go exploring, but I think that we get in trouble if we go off the path. So we'll stay on the path. Oh wow, big reveal. Check that out.
And there was something, I don't know, it's hard to describe. There was something very different about this experience when you're in a place like this and you consciously realize I am setting foot on ground that not many human beings ever have. I'm really grateful to have got to go see this, and I hope that you get to go see it too. If for anyone who's watching this, I think it's really great of the Robinson family to allow people to land here, and we're grateful to have done it.
Yeah, and it's definitely untouched. Like, no graffiti, no scratches in the rocks, no...
Man.
There's nobody's name, is in the moss. And you can feel the mist from the waterfall. The helicopter tour guide was really cool, too. He said, this is just like an average day flow, but it can get a lot more aggressive of a waterfall. But what we were seeing was, not extreme.
Yeah. Get to pay extra for that.
The helicopter pilot showed a picture, which you can see the picture next to the spot where the Jurassic Park landing pad used to be in that same hurricane from the movie and where it got ripped off. So that was just a display of the power of nature.
We'll go in the helicopter. You like that? Yeah, good job, buddy. Daddy's so proud of you, buddy.
Love that we got these shots right here, the island helicopter right there between the two flights.
Danny usually pulls headphones off. He doesn't like wearing them, but he was completely content with the ones blasting the music even, and he doesn't like loud sounds like that.
Here's us flying away. You get to see it on the ground. With the cameras we had, it was hard to get perspective for how big it is, but this thing is the size of a skyscraper.
And it's beautiful. Look.
Yeah. And that was only half of the helicopter ride.
What was nice is Dan and I were wanting to hike the Nao Pali Coast, but with the boys and the cliffs, and I'm afraid of heights,
yeah,
I was like, yeah. And then we did the helicopter and we did the raft, and it was fulfilling, and also I didn't have to worry about I mean, everything we did was still pretty dangerous, but I didn't have to worry about them slipping off of a mountainside. Yeah, Danny loves airplanes, and he loves looking out the window of airplanes, and he really loved looking out the window in the helicopter.
I had only ever seen the Waimea Canyon once. We just happened to drive by it when I was there with my friends 14 years ago. I had no idea it existed when I was on Kauai, and it always lingered in my mind, so we had to go back and see it. And granted, a helicopter ride is going to be more expensive than probably other tours and stuff, but if you want to guarantee you see all the hits, this was bang for your buck.
Yeah, there's no way. It's massive, like the Grand Canyon. There's no way, like you could hike up to maybe one peak and look down, but not all encompassing as the helicopter ride was.
And I'd been to the Grand Canyon, and this kind of has a similar effect where you kind of lose perspective for how big the cliffs are until you look at the tops and you see fully grown trees and maybe a person standing there and you're like, oh, these are massive after all.
And it was, I started thinking, oh, are we getting higher up because the trees are all gone?
Yeah.
Like, all we're seeing is clay. Why is it so dry over here? Is it just dry over here, or are we just that much higher that they don't grow up here? So it was interesting,
And it was crazy to think you climb out over this ridge and there's this lush rainforest vegetation on top, even though it was a desert down below.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't quite figure it out. Like, you're like, oh, we were in the canyon, and now this. When you're in the helicopter too, you're not sure if you're on the side, if you're up, if you're low. Like,
I'd say the helicopter kind of in Kauai distorts your perception of elevation because you could feel like you're low in the canyon, but you're still high relative to the sea.
look how beautiful it is. Like, literally looks like we could have touched this spiral. Yeah.
And when you see this, if you're a nerd like me and you've been all over Google Earth and you see these things and you're like, are there really these stalagmite type spires and stuff that are thousands of feet tall? They probably don't. Like, the trick of light and shadow, and then you're there in real life like, no, they really are that magnificent.
And wasn't that where we were out? So the next day we got to see inside of that little cave that the boats,
a circular cave with the waves. We were just been outside of that the day before.
Yeah, and it wasn't calm the next day either. So
and here's the Hanapu Arch. It also bears pointing out that you see the helicopter making all these turns. I understand a helicopter can stop and turn on a dime, but still, the fact that there was enough room in these canyons wall to wall to make a big wide radius turn and still have room left over was just a testament to how big these things are. Where it looks like we're moving slow in the footage, but in real life you're still moving at a pretty good speed, and these things are just towering.
It was beautiful. And if you don't have an experienced pilot, it could be pretty scary because these spires just pop up, and it's like they're right under
Definitely
you.
Has to know what he's doing.
Yeah, but it was beautiful.
Those are the cathedrals.
Yeah, just amazing. It looked. I can't even think of anything that kind of looks like that except maybe like in mushroom gills, kind of like
otherworldly.
Yeah.
So I had heard of this thing once where people got depressed after seeing the first Avatar movie because they're like, "Oh, nothing like that exists in real life." I'm like, "Go to Kauai, go to Kauai." It's like that. It's like going and seeing Avatar, going and seeing Pandora, or something like that. It is otherworldly. If you hadn't seen it with your own two eyes, you'd think that maybe it's CGI. You're like, nothing like this exists in real life.
Yeah.
This was a pretty magic moment too, going into the clouds.
Yeah, and
We're on our way to the heart of Kauai.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, it's up in there, like in the clouds.
That cloud deck is pretty constant. Obviously, it ebbs and flows, but it flows over the top of that ridge in the cinder cone, the heart of Kauai, and generates that continuous flow of water down that becomes the Wall of Tears on one side, and on the other side, down to the Jurassic Park Falls where we once were. So it was kind of amazing to complete that circle on this ride where we were just standing at the Jurassic Park Falls, and this is where that water is made.
Look at all the waterfalls just everywhere.
Everywhere. Teeming with life. And here we are entering the heart of Kauai. What you're looking at right here is that V-shape entrance as we come around the valley, is that old cinder cone that was originally the volcano of Kauai. Couldn't take enough pictures. You want to zoom in, you want to zoom out, you want to capture every single detail, and there's that helicopter.
And yeah, now you can see we're in the cinder cone.
I couldn't back out. I couldn't zoom the camera out enough to capture everything, and this was one of those cameras you can zoom out.
So when we visited Mauna Kea, and that's an active volcano, and you see the lava pool and the different things. Imagine, many, many, many years ago, this area looked like that. It's just amazing. And makes you think, like, the Big Island's not done yet.
Yeah. Our pilot was so incredible. He gave us several turns inside this thing. It wasn't just like, hey, here's this one tease and you get to see it. They gave us a few minutes inside this thing.
They say this is like the grand, right? Wasn't it like, this is what you've all been waiting for?
Yeah.
That's what he said. And here's the thing. We didn't even know we were waiting for this. We had no idea this was like...
This was one of the biggest surprises of all of my travels. You can see that one area is the Wall of Tears that Sarah was talking about.
It looks so far away, but
yeah, you fell there.
And it looks low to the ground. It is not low to the ground. It's beautiful.
And again, I wouldn't put it past anyone to have ever hiked up here. But it is so far from anything, and the terrain is so forbidding. I think that this is really practically the only way most people could ever see this, is in a helicopter.
But there's no trails.
Yeah, it looks completely untouched.
Yeah, and you're pretty far from the coast. We got kind of a little, what is it called, like, out of direct, turned around, disoriented. Yeah, we were like, where are we now? Like,
yeah. Well, I'm glad our pilot knows where we are.
Yeah. And then he's like, okay, we're going back. And it was like, we're thinking, oh, it took us so long to get here. It's probably going to take us forever to get back too, right? Nope. It was like, oh, here we are.
Yeah, they were very efficient with the route, but also for wow factor. Like, the sights we saw were increasingly more incredible. Danny insisted on keeping that shot in.
You can see how fertile the soil is.
Yeah.
So bright red.
It's just amazing. Danny, did you like the helicopter ride, buddy?
I'll have fun because you had your time.
Was it fun seeing the waterfall or riding the helicopter?
I think the fun part is having a band-aid.
Afterwards, we had to buy all the t-shirts.
Yeah. Danny, what was your favorite part in the helicopter? Was it the waterfalls or the mountains, or what did you like?
Red helicopter.
The red helicopter? So the red helicopter.
To buy all the t-shirts.
Buy all the things to remember because it was pretty amazing. Look at that cute face.
That was cool. I think we had that helicopter booked like a year and a half out.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure it wasn't sold out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that did helicopter tours, but every time I asked, like, oh, who did you get a helicopter ride with? And they didn't say Island Helicopters. And I just thought, oh, they missed out.
They missed out. It's worth emphasizing that you can't book Island Helicopters through cruise ship. You have to book it on your own. We had enough time to do something bite-sized, and so we had seen all the YouTube videos. Again, one of the features they'll point you to is Wailua Falls.
Yes. So we took a little
Falls.
ride up to Wailua Falls.
Here at Wailua Falls. Checking out Wailua Falls.
After seeing the falls we saw in the helicopter, Wailua Falls was like, oh, okay. Because they closed the hiking trail down.
Honestly,
because,
I would say skip it now, and that's a tragedy because it's a beautiful waterfall. I think we had some time left in the day, but after 7 straight days of just go, 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 if you follow the channel, you've seen how much we packed in. I think we were pretty toast. Got us a few acai bowls on the way back, but we were pretty done.
The kids were tired since we had gotten up early for the helicopter ride also. And Danny and James were happy to just veg for a little while.
Watching movies.
And it was our last night on the cruise.
I didn't want to leave. Bye-bye, Kauai.
Oh, that was beautiful too. When we were sailing away and we were standing on the balcony, that is something I'll remember forever because it was like Kauai was saying goodbye to us.
Yeah.
As we're sailing away, we were watching whales breach. And I don't mean breach like, oh, you just see their little tail. No, I mean jump out of the water, throwing their bodies against the water.
Yeah.
And not just one time, like several times as we're sailing out. The sun's setting. The island is beautiful. We didn't want to leave. The view was just amazing. And you're just like, I can't believe we're here. And I can't believe this is last night. And then to see from the cruise ship, like we've seen whales on the boat tours in Alaska on the boat tours, but never from the cruise ship.
Plentifully. You know, it's like you look out to the distance and you see whales breaching. So yeah, this is our last hurrah. We got a day room at the Hilton Hawaiian Village, waiting for our night flight out, and it felt like a palace after being in the cruise ship balcony for a week.
You would think that our kids, being that we spent 2 nights in Oahu, then 7 nights on the cruise, and then we were about to sail, go fly home, that they'd be okay to leave. Both of them, but mostly the youngest, Danny, was crying. He did not want to leave the hotel. He wanted to stay in Hawaii.
That's a win.
Yeah, it's a win.
That's a win.
We booked this trip and we were nervous. Maybe the kids wouldn't like something or wouldn't enjoy it. Maybe they'd be bored. And the kids were right there with us. Our kids loved it and didn't want to go home. The big picture is it was perfect.